Hello all, welcome to the program Know Your Government by Ekam IAS, an initiative where a government scheme is elaborated upon, followed by a question which is in line with the UPSC pattern. Today we will discuss a scheme which is known as Operation Greens. Operation Greens. What is this all about? Operation Greens is a scheme which is mainly targeting at the farm sector and for the farmers so that the income of farmers is doubled by 2022. So this is a scheme which is mainly focusing upon for the betterment or for the benefits for the agricultural sector in our nation. Under the scheme, this is essentially a price fixation scheme. Price fixation scheme, because as you would know, there is a lot of price fluctuations happening depending upon many factors like climatic conditions, external agencies interference, middleman interference, etc. So that the farmers may not receive a constant price for their produce. There can be some time where they will be getting much lesser than their investment which they have put up into for the production of this cost. So to avoid that and to ensure that the farmers are benefited, this scheme of Operation Greens will act as a price fixation mechanism that aims to ensure farmers are given the right price for their produce. Farmers are given the right price for their produce. The operation aims to aid farmers and help control and limit the erratic fluctuations in the prices of tomato, onions and potatoes, or the top crops, tomato, onion and potatoes, to focus upon their on their price fluctuation, which are all the key vegetables or the entities which our people would need in a day-to-day life is to be managed upon, is the idea of Operation Green, focusing upon top crops, tomato, onion and potatoes. Then, Operation Greens shall promote Farmer Producers Association. How are they playing a role in terms of this helping up of this farmers? One is to promote farmers producing associations, one, agricultural logistics, as well as to focus upon the processing facilities and a professional management in the all this ambit, like agricultural logistics, processing facilities, etc., to be managed upon a very professional, effective manner so that the wastage is also reduced upon, is one of the key idea under Operation Green. This is aimed at ensuring available of top crops throughout the country around the year without price volatility, and they have envisaged a budget outlay of close to 500 crore is what is being allocated for this scheme, Operation Greens or Operation Green. What are some of the key objectives of the scheme? First one is to enhancing value realization of top farmers by targeted interventions to strengthen top production clusters. So understand the key word of top production clusters. So when the production of this top crop is been happening, doing it upon a very clusterful focus approach is also one of the ideas, so that the value realization of the top crops are basically happening to the farmers. One. Second thing is price stabilization for the producers and consumers by proper production planning in top clusters and introduction of dual use varieties. So different varieties which is going to sustain different climatic conditions, as well as having a very sustainable plan mode, so that the price stabilization is being managed across the country and the availability of top crops is also made sure. Then, reduction in post-harvest losses. After the harvest of this top crop has been done, ensuring that they are stored and processed at appropriate good quality facilities so that any reduction in post-harvest loss can be avoided. That is the third objective. So enhancing value realization for top farmers, price stabilization for the producers and consumers, as well as reduction in post-harvest losses. Understand that there is price stabilization for producers and consumers, because consumers cannot also have a high volatility of price going on every time. Increasing in food processing capacities, which means more institutions or more leverage institution which is taking care upon the top processing is being put upon, and value addition in top value chain with firm linkages with production clusters. So there can be a proper linkage between the areas or the production clusters so that the vegetables or the top crops are put up into the market in a very healthy practice so that any kind of loss has been avoided. Then, setting up of a market intelligence network, setting up of a marketing intelligence network is also one of the key idea under this Operation Green. Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Ministry of Food Processing Industries is the nodal ministry who is going to implement this scheme, and the strategies will have, this scheme will have basically two strategies. Or one is for a short-term price stabilization and first one is for a long-term strategy. The short-term strategy is for price stabilization measures which is acting on a short-term note, and on a long-term note to integrated value chain developmental projects. That is, the top products value chain is being put up on a high note so that both the producers as well as consumers are getting benefit out of it. We'll see how they are planning to do that. Short-term price stabilization measures is the short-term strategy which they are been employing, and NAFED will be the implementing nodal agency for this short-term strategy. NAFED means National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India. National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India will be the nodal agency implementing the short-term price stabilization mechanisms, and the ministry will provide 50% of subsidy on two components, and that is how they are going to achieve this mechanism. How? One is transportation of tomato, onion and potato from production to storage. For the transportation part from production to the storage part, the government is going to give subsidies so that the price stabilization part has been taken care. One, as well as hiring up of appropriate storage facilities for top crops. So, storage facilities as well as the transportation part is being taken care under the short-term price stabilization mechanisms. For the long-term integrated value chain developmental projects, that is a long-term project, and that would have ideas of capacity building for FPOs as well as their quality production, post-harvest facilities where the top crops can be effectively processed upon, focusing upon agricultural logistics, focusing upon the marketing or the consumption point so that more value add is happening at that point, as well as creation and management of e-platform for demand and supply management. So proper demand and supply management can also play a vital role in terms of reducing up of any losses which is going to happen for the top crops. So the long-term strategies would involve capacity building, quality production, post-harvest processing facilities, agricultural logistics, focusing upon the marketing part as well as creation and management of an e-platform for the supply as well as the demand of the top crops analysis. So that is the crux of this Operation Green, and we will now see a question which is based on this. Operation Greens seen in news is related to agricultural coarse grains production, preservation and consumption. Agricultural coarse grain, that is not the key area, so the first statement is wrong. Sustainable forest conservation strategy to be adopted in eco-sensitive zones across the nation. No, this is not a forest conservation strategy. Second statement is wrong. Emission strategy related to achieving the INDCs, that is the intended nationally determined contribution goals. So this is not again something which is related to the air pollution or regarding that facet, which is making statement C as well as wrong. So A, B and C is wrong, and the right answer is option D, that is ensuring availability of top crops, that is tomato, onions and potatoes throughout the country. Yes, this is a price stabilization mechanism, and also to ensure that these top crops availability has been properly taken care. So the correct answer is option D. Thank you so much.